Alright, so it's the final part for this review lesson before we begin 413. And this one is dealing with your graphing calculator, and you can see below, so make sure you have your TI-84 on this. This is an expectation in this lesson, so we want to spend today to review it as well. So you can see off to the side of the calculator the steps we're going to use to find the zeros. Now there's many ways of doing it, and we'll go over it, but this is probably the most efficient way. So I'm going to go to y equals, and I'm going to type in number 12, x squared plus 8x plus 13. Now, I like to hit graph first, and I can see that my zeros do not look like they're nice numbers. If I look right here, if I take a guess, that looks like it's between -2 and -3, maybe closer to -2. And then if I keep on going, I mean, it looks like this one could be, see, 3, 4, 5, could be between -5 and -6, but closer to -6. And I can even look at the table, by the way. If I look at the table, I can see that from -8, I'm in the positives, positive at -6, -6, 1, but then it jumps down below the x-axis here. So somewhere between here, between -5 and -6, is going to be a 0. And I'm still in the negatives, but then right here, it jumps up to the positives. So between -3 and -2, it had to have crossed the x-axis. And we can see that in the table, we can see that in the graph. And we're going to use the 0 feature on our calculator. So right above the word trace, you can look right in there and it says in blue, and I say this, if you ever want to find any point or any value on a graph, you go to calculate. Calculate is where you find values on the graph. So I'm going to hit second, trace. Now, option 2 says 0, and we're going to hit this. Now, here's what a lot of people do afterwards, and this is always fun to hear as a teacher. You will hear students going click, 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 and they keep on trying to move the cursor and go through. Now, we're going to be dealing a lot of zeros, maybe even deal with maxes and mins. So a better way, I mean, you can do this. Now, your calculator screen says left bound, so I could take the time, and I emphasize the word time. You could take the time and keep on going click, 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 click with your calculator, or realize, pick a number to the left of the 0. And notice in the beginning of the video, I said, hey, I'll look at the graph first. Well, this looks like it's between -5 and -6. So I might as well, if I can see what it's between, either in the graph or the table itself, I'm just going to type in -6. It allows me to type a number to the left. So I'm going to pick a 0 to find. I'm going to start at the left, and it says type x equals. So it says x equals. I'm just going to type in -6 and hit enter. And notice it puts a dashed line here. That is the left. Your calculator is not smart enough to do multiple zeros at one time. Sorry. Your calculator can only do 1 0 at one time. That's the TI version of the calculators. So right bound means pick a number to the right of that 0. And I said it's between -5 and -6. So I could go click, 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 click. But rather than doing that and wasting time, I'm just going to say it's -5 because I can see it. Now it's guess. Now here's the hard part. Pick a number between -5 and -6. And the good news is you can be wrong. Like, I know I'm wrong. I'm going to write down -5.5. It's not -5.5. It's closer to -6 than it is to -5. So I know I'm wrong. But the good news is, it doesn't matter. Because if I type in a good guess in between those two dashed lines, it's going to tell me the answer. And so I have x equals about -5.7. So let me write that down. X is approximately -5.7. So I was wrong with my -5.5, darn. However, the calculator is going to tell it to me. So I do it again. Second, trace. I want to find my 0, option 2. This time, it looks like it's between -2 and -3. Now again, I could go click, 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 but man, I'm going to have to work my way back to that side. So why not just pick a number to the left of what I think it is? So to the left of this on the x-axis is a -3. To the right of it, by the way, is -2, but I'm going to show you. I'm going to pick -1 because I can. It's to the right of it. Is my 0 between those two dashed lines? Yes, it is. And I'm going to guess wrong because I can. I'm going to say it's -2, and it's not -2. It's further to the left than -2, but it doesn't matter because it's going to tell me it's about -2 point around 3. So I have x is approximately -2.3. And so there we go. That's how we're going to do these problems. So that's problem 12. And problem 13, by the way, no different. I'm going to go to y equals. I'm going to clear it out, and I'm going to type in -x², which, by the way, let's think about this. It's an even degree. It has a negative leading coefficient, so it should be opening down. The y-intercept, by the way, here should be -18. I'm going to hit graph. Hey, look at that. I have a good description. I can see the end behavior is even. I can see it's opening down, and that y-intercept is way below what I'm seeing here. But let's forget about that. Let's just kind of talk about our zeros. Well, there's two of them. One of them looks like it's between -7 and -8. I mean, that's this one right here. And one of them looks like it's between -2 and -3 again. And I can even look at my table. Let's see, -7 and -8. So look at that. I have a negative for the y value, negative. But at -7, it's a +3, which means it had to have crossed that x-axis. So it is between -7 and -8. Let's see, at -4, I have a 6, I have a 3, then a -2. So right here, between -3 and -2, it had to have gone below the x-axis. So yeah, I can see it in the table, and that gives me even, by the way, the table can even give me left bound, right bound, or I can look at the graph and just see it's between -8 and -7. So second calc, because if you ever want to find anything on the graph, you always go to the calculate menu. I'm going to go to option 2, left bound. I said -8. Enter. Right bound. I think -7 is to the right. It is. Guess. And good news is I'm going to be wrong. So I'm going to say -7.5. I was wrong. It is -7.6 approximately. So x is approximately, I'm writing it down and I'll show you at the end. Now let's do the next one. Again, it looks like it's between -2 and -3. A little bit closer to -2. So I have my left bound and right bound. I have -3. Right bound now. I'm going to type in -2 and hit enter. And I'm just following these steps. My guess, I'm going to type in -2.5 and hit enter. Well, it looks like I was wrong. If I were to round 2/10, it would be approximately -2.4. So close. But that's really what it is every single time. It doesn't matter if your guess is wrong as long as your guess is between your left bound and your right bound. And use your eyes to tell you what numbers are the left and what numbers are the right. Think logically here. I mean, just so you are aware, this feature is also used when you are grabbing minimums or maximums. Now this one's opening down, so if I go to maximum, if I look 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right here, -5, that looks like the x value for the maximum. So I can do the same idea. I'll pick a number to the left of -5. I'll say -8. Now it's way to the left, but it doesn't matter. Pick a number to the left of what it looks like. I'll say right of it, -3. Hit enter. Is my maximum between these two arrows? And yes, it is. Now what's my guess? I'm going to guess wrong. Because, by the way, it is -5 exactly. I'm going to guess -4.5. I could just guess -4 if that makes you happy. And I'm going to be wrong. But notice it will tell me the max. So, in other words, you don't have to go click, 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 click when finding the zeros, the maxes, or the mins with the calculator. You can use your eyes and look at the calculator screen and guess x values to the left of it, to the right of it, and then what you think it is by looking at the picture. So that's how you use your graphing calculator to find zeros of given quadratic functions.